Okay, so last report of the day for you guys when it comes to boxing news. Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez is being pursued by Saudi Arabia. According to Bob Arum, they have made an offer and they are thinking about actually going for it. Let's go ahead and talk about this little paragraph right here. It's come from boxing.com. The Middle East country has emerged as a big player in the boxing business after staging the World Boxing Super Series middleweight final between Callum Smith and George Groves in 2018. I don't know why they don't add this, but Amir Khan also had his fight against Billy Dibb last year, which he made big money, I think close to 10 mil, as well as a heavyweight title rematch between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr., for which it is believed to have paid a $40 million site fee. Lomachenko is fighting Lopez. That is done, Bob Arum said. Now the question is the site of the fight. We have Madison Square Garden bidding against Barclays in Brooklyn, and we're also getting a bid from Saudi Arabia to do that fight. It will be April, or worst case scenario, it would be in May if it went to Saudi Arabia, because it would be after the Ramadan on May 23rd. So that is the news coming from Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. There is a possibility instead of it happening April, it'll happen May because it goes to Saudi Arabia. I'm going to tell you now, I believe it's happening in Saudi Arabia. I think Bob Arum's seen Eddie Hearn. I told you Bob Arum's going to be on some Eddie Hearn shit next year. I promise you. Just remember me saying this. He's going to be on some Eddie Hearn shit. I see Lomachenko versus Lopez happening May 23rd in Saudi Arabia. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you think it's going to happen in Madison Square Garden, or the Barclays, or Saudi Arabia? And once again, you're hearing it here first, unless somebody else already reported. At least this is first for me. Lopez versus Lomachenko is a done deal. And then of course, if we're gonna start excuse me, if we're gonna talk about Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez, how can we not talk about Gervonta Davis versus Gamboa? I did a live stream about Gamboa saying how he got that Achilles injury. Just saying, do you think he's ready? The beef that Gervonta Davis is having with Terrence Crawford, because Crawford felt like he dealt with Gamboa better, blah, 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 blah. Well, I think the biggest thing we should be talking about when it comes to Davis is the things that his promoters tend to say about him, which he's the money man, he's the biggest draw in his division. No one makes more money than Davis. He's the next big superstar. He's the next big pay-per-view superstar. This is all coming from Leonard Ellaby. This is all coming from TMT. The money team, the promotion, that's what they're saying. Well, as you guys can see from the headline here, Gervonta Davis versus Gamboa peaked at 604,000 viewers on Showtime. So check this out. Gervonta Davis' victory over Gamboa drew Showtime's second highest viewership for a boxing match in 2019. Nielsen Media Research revealed Tuesday that Davis' 12th round stoppage of Gamboa attracted a peak audience of 604,000 on Saturday night from State Farm Arena. Davis Gamboa, the longest fight of Davis' 6-year pro career, was watched by an average of about 577,000. The only fight Showtime aired this year that drew higher than that is Wilder's first round knockout of Dominic Breazeale. Wilder's mandatory WBC heavyweight title defense versus Breazeale, which lasted just 2 minutes and 17 seconds, was watched to 886,000 viewers live on Showtime from Barclays Centers in Brooklyn. Okay, so a total of 774,000 viewers watched Davis Gamboa through various platforms, while Wilder Breazeale attracted a total of about 1,100,000. Okay. Now remember, his second round knockout of Ricardo Nunez attracted a peak audience of about 594,000, an average of 553. So slowly, his numbers are going up, right? But at the same time, you have to understand too, it has to come down to his level of competition. Slowly they're going up, but not much. He attracted more of a peak audience. Well, let me say this. He didn't attract more of a peak audience, but he attracted just as much of an average audience against Ricardo Nunez, which was 553 compared to 577, and then his peak was 604 for Gamboa. His peak was 594 for Nunez, so not much of a slight difference. And then real quick at the end of this article, it says Davis, who promoted by Floyd Mayweather, might make his debut as a pay-per-view headliner in his next fight. Is interesting because obviously it comes down to who he fights. Gamboa is somewhat of a popular guy. I guess seeing him fight someone like a Lopez, Lomachenko, Tevin Farmer, Leo Santa Cruz, it might boost the numbers some, but I want to be honest with you. I think those numbers are very low for someone who is projected to be the next big pay-per-view star. Very low. Teofimo Lopez in his last fight on the co-main event of the Terrence Crawford fight, I think his peaked at about 1 million, maybe a little bit over that. when he was fighting, averaged about $1 million during the fight, even though it was a short fight. It's still that's what the numbers were. Okay, so we're talking about Lopez, someone who's potentially in the same boat as Davis, getting more views. Obviously, we know Lomachenko's already he's done pay-per-views, so I believe he's done a pay-per-view. Lomachenko, if I'm wrong, y'all correct me if he hasn't. We know he's had fights where it's peaked at least to $1 million or more. So that's the number I'm looking at when guys talk about superstars or the next big boxing stars. At least $1 million. I know it's on Showtime, so you have to gauge that a certain way. But even Deontay Wilder, you can see he had 886,000. He attracted a total of $1 million. That's a total. So I don't even really look at that across all platforms. What is shown on, and that Showtime, 886,000. That's close to $1 million. So when he switches over to Fox Sports or whatever thing, or PBC, he gets about $1 million. I think if Davis switched over to PBC or Fox Sports, that showcase in there, he would get probably about 700,000. It's still not good numbers compared to these other up-and-comers, even Devin Haney's of the world. So that's just my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Is that good numbers to y'all? Davis versus Gamboa getting about 577,000 average, 604 peak. And does he deserve to continue to get the praise he gets when it comes to not necessarily his boxing ability, but I'm talking about his draw, his draw as a superstar? Is he really as big as his team and the people around him creates him to be, or is this all illusion? What do y'all think? I want to know y'all opinion on it. As always, stay positive. Mr. Black Goose in the building.
I did it again. I did it again. I did it again. I did it again. I'm winning again. I'm winning again. I'm winning again. Yeah. I did it again. I did it again. I did it again. I'm winning again. I'm winning again. I'm winning again. These niggas be mad at me. Yeah. Well, a nigga be mad at me. Yeah. These niggas be mad at me like yeah. Well, a nigga be mad at me. Yeah. Why? I did it again. Did it again. I did it again. I did it again. I did it again. Well, I'm winning again. I'm winning again. I'm winning again. Yeah. I'm winning again. I did it again. I did it again. But these niggas be mad at me. Yeah. All niggas be mad at me. Whoa. These niggas be mad at me. Yeah. All niggas be mad at me. Whoa. I ain't split. Keep me so cool in my grip. Lately been dealing with shit. Niggas been talking that shit. I ain't been worried no trip. I keep on worrying about winning. Leaders assume I'ma quit. Right, I go all they live. Pick up my drill like I'm live. Once y'all see him on quit. Once y'all see him with deal. Soon like I'm up in the whip. No time to listen to live. I'm in the drill like I'm real. Pouring so I can sell. When they just want me go drill. Holding the game like a grill. Watch the whole game so twist. Niggas be mad at me shit. Yeah, niggas be mad at me shit. Yeah. Smoke like it ain't nothing. With my young nigga we working. I feel the way I've been grinding. I just been moving and shining. With my little big clothes I'm buying. Patient just waiting on timing. Money I know I'ma find it. Most of y'all niggas be lying. Yeah. New fit in